Joseph from Joe's Transformer Toy Reviews. Right here I have Rattrap. He is from the 2014 Generations line. He came with a packing comic with him is on the cover. And right here we have he retailed for about $18 with the comic. I'm not sure if there was a version without the comic, but I imagine that'd be slightly cheaper, depending on if it came with anything else. He's not really all that available right now. Places like Amazon and or TF Source or other websites that sell Transformers you probably still get them for a reasonable price, not much more than the retail usually went for. This figure was not very popular, so that would maintain the price being rather reasonable. So let's get started here. His primary colors are a burnt, almost like a butterscotch color, and silvery gray, and there's a little bit of skin tone as well throughout the figure, and a reddish color for the fur. As you can imagine from the name, he does transform into a rat. He was a big character in the Beast Wars series, and this was his first incarnation. He had two character design changes. This was the original one that they showed in the cartoon series. Anyways, let's go on. He comes with all his accessories are see-throughish, smoky gray plastic. Comes with two guns and an alternate device I will show you later. These guns are based on the cartoon pistols. This one actually seems more of a cutting tool that he had used in later on in the series. The guns do have a nice feature where if you take both guns and you can connect them together to make a larger pistol or rifle-like weapon. Guns are a nice design. They do have a tendency to turn slightly, but it doesn't really get in the way of normal use. In his forearm, lift that up, and you have this device right here. Now, depending on what package, if you look at the packaging or whatever, they claim this to be binoculars. They look kind of like that, but in the cartoon series, this had actually been a multitude of devices that would be stored in his forearm. Most commonly, it was a bomb, a sticky bomb or other type of bomb where it would be placed, it would go off, and for demolitions or whether it needs. And also a single-use device that he had used in an earlier episode called the Hot Box, which was used to trick infrared devices. He also normally keep like lock picks and other type of thieves' tools in his forearms. He was a bit of a saboteur or a spy. Honestly, one of my favorite characters in the show, although most of them were pretty well developed. Unfortunately, while he is well designed in a lot of ways, in other ways he is not. For whatever reason, the design that his arms do not go anywhere beyond that point. They cannot bend up on the elbow any more than that. That's far from a 90-degree angle. It's closer to like a 110 or so degree angle, depending on how you want to look at that. But his arms go backwards about as far. I'm not sure. Like, I do see there is some designs that prevent it. I looked into trying to modify it to get it to go any further, but discussing back and forth with someone who modifies and does tabletop games, they said that there was no point, as you only get maybe another couple degrees, not much more, and you weaken the structural integrity of the toy. So that's not worth it. These hands of the rat going forward, they can be rotated. However, they start to pop out when you rotate down further. So let's go to the transformation, which is another big issue. We were talking about the elbows, but that's a big point. The rest of the joints are not bad at all. The feet are immobile because of the design of the transformation. The knees and the hips and everything else are pretty good. this pulls away here for the shoulder, but there's really no problem, no major issue. He does have a huge backpack by comparison. Not the biggest backpack of all, but still enough that it makes him back heavy. Also has guns, really don't have any place to go. Sometimes I'll just stick into the socket for the rat leg and leave it like that, or split them up and do that. Not ideal, but I mean, you can throw them somewhere, and there's just no official place for it. Let's go on to the transformation. Now, he does have a reputation of being very frustrating, especially for the size of figure. The original figure that came out when Beast Wars came out in the 1990s, mid to late 90s, he actually was transformed by pulling the tail up, and then it would activate a gears, which would cause him to transform almost completely by that single movement. And let me show you the transformation for this one. Just bring the head up, back down, flip this part up. Now, this is what we call a shell former, wherein the alternate mode generally makes a bunch of shelled pieces, like a shell, in order to keep the robot part hidden. So bring these in and face them up, this part's up. Yeah, this right here, I'm trying to remember the order this goes in. I might be wrong. This might go like, yes, I believe that I was wrong. This goes the shoulder part diving into the chest. If you don't do this, the rest of it will become more difficult, and you have to massage it into place. Even now, it's still not ideal. So we flip the rat legs out, flip these forward, and then continue transforming into a rat. There is a lot of steps to this. Complicated, yes, but also requires a lot of precision in order to make it work out. So move the legs into position. Now right here is another part that used to get me before I would transform it. This right here, you have to extend the legs out away from the hinge. There's a gap, so you have to produce on each side. You don't really know until you have done this multiple times exactly how far is required, but you have to go pretty darn far. That gap you have to pull out in order to establish. So move the back into place. These right here are supposed to go around the thighs of the leg. There. Okay. Move those in there. The hands. There we go. Basically, no matter how many times you've transformed him, you will make mistakes, because a lot of it just doesn't make any sense. And now I'm bringing down the shells, the sides. There we go. Now these latch into the arms, and the back legs come up. Now, let me move this here. That goes into the belly. Now, I will admit I never really did on the original Rattrap figure, but I always wanted to. He's always one of my favorite characters. Okay, so this is what he looks like in rat mode, and it's not bad at all. You have the feet move, rotate, not the back ones, they just flop around. This part right here, the haunches move. Mouth opens and closes. But one of the things that really works out for the character is that you can move the feet down, lift the tail up. Oh, the tail is on a bendy piece of metal and plastic, rubber, so you can pose any way you want. And you can move the head down. You have this part right here. So now it's like he's a talking rat, like he would sometimes would stand up and talk, or jump on the back of Optimus Primal as he was flying away. And I find that this gives him the ability to imitate some of those motions. Now the bottom part is obviously exposed, but it doesn't make a big difference. Especially since they're trying to engineer that away would make it even more complex, even more ungainly. So that is his. That is the transformation. That is the Rattrap 2014 Generations Rattrap figure. As for recommendations, if you like the character at all, I would give it a high recommendation actually, just because the representation of the character is very close to what appeared on the TV show. And just honestly, that's the biggest reason to get him, as he's just incredibly frustrating to transform. I'm actually very proud to actually get him transformed in a reasonable amount of time compared to what I normally end up with. But if for small children, I would recommend to avoid it, as it'd be way too frustrating for most children. All right, this is Joseph from Joe's Transformer Toy Reviews. If you have any questions or comments, please leave one in the comment section. Please like or subscribe to the video, and thank you very much, and good night.